Good morning. Welcome to week 5 of Human Resources. How are you doing? It's February. It's our first full week of February, shall we say. How are you doing? Week 5. Kind of like midterm week. 4 weeks are behind us. I know we still have 6 weeks in front of us. But in this course, you do not have a midterm, shall we say. As you probably noticed in the program, I am not one for quizzes and tests and your typical midterm exams. So no, you do not have a midterm exam right now. We are doing chapter 6 this week. We are talking about formal and informal learning. Really probably self-explanatory. Formal is typically in a classroom. You as a leader will be setting up a training session, something along those lines. You're going to meet in a room. You might have notes. You might have a PowerPoint. You might bring somebody external in to do some kind of formal training. So that's along your formal training. Informal is what you kind of learn, quote unquote, on the fly, shall we say. Not in a classroom. You might be sitting with a colleague and they say, hey, I've been doing it like this. And you're like, oh my gosh, didn't even know that could be done. Didn't know I had the access to that. Didn't know we were capable. Didn't know something. And it's kind of a more informal, again, on the fly, off the cuff kind of learning. Maybe a little bit more structured than that, shall we say. Some of the learning objectives this week is distinguish between a formal, informal, and planned incidental learning. Explain the concept of transfer of learning and how learning transfer can be maximized. Use your knowledge and understanding of formal and informal learning to advise on the design and delivery of human resources, human resource development, human resource management. So I think I really do like this book. I think it gives you really a lot of what you need. Maybe doesn't go too in depth to be overwhelming. I'm looking at the book right here, and like one of the first pages, it talks about SHRM. If you are into human resources leadership, this might be something you might want to get SHRM certified. The Association of Talent Development and the UK's Chartered Institute of Personnel and Development. So if you are looking to be a human resource leader, these might be some things you might want to look into. Overall, it starts out with the formal learning and employee training. If you were a human resource leader, this might be something that you are developing. But as a leader, this could be something that you might go to human resources and say, I see this is an area we need to improve upon, and I would like you to develop this particular training for our employees. Simulation training, and as I mentioned, the learning transfer environment, but then we're also going to go into an informal, incidental training, which I find so interesting because as I'm sitting here, I'm thinking about an incident where I met with a colleague to forget exactly what I wanted to discuss. And during that, it was a little bit more structured because we were sitting down together. We had our computers open. It wasn't a formal training per se where we were all invited and, PowerPoints, blah, 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 blah. But it was a bit more, it was kind of in between because, like I said, the colleague and I had set up a time. We were going to meet. We opened our computers. We were looking at things together. And while we were doing this, my colleague mentioned something, and I'm like, I didn't even know that was available. Or if I did know it was available, I didn't totally understand the utilization of it. And I'm like, wow. And it's something that I now utilize weekly. So informal can be really awesome. Formal trainings are great, But sometimes you get the best information, in my opinion, from the informal, the incidental. So I think that you're really going to enjoy this chapter. As I always say, please dig deep into the actual chapter. You know, just I like at the end how they give some vocabulary and such. I don't know, you know, if there are probably some basic words or what you're familiar with, but they might give a more in-depth definition of them. So anyhow, welcome to week 5. I hope it is a fantastic week. I hope there was something amazing from week 4 that you were able to bring with you into week 5, maybe help you with your academics, maybe something you can implement in your workplace. Again, I always mention this, but if there's something that you're like, oh my gosh, this was awesome, I am now going to be doing this at work, I'm now utilizing this at home, blah, 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 whatever, I would love an email telling me, you know, what it is you're implementing, how you're doing it, whatever works. And please share with me, reach out, send an email, and have a fantastic week 5.